Welcome to the Literary Apothecary. My name is Kate and today I'm here to talk about The Rave by J.R. Trouse. This is book 1 in the Elfrere trilogy. It's an urban fantasy, science fiction, YA. And I read this because I heard good things from my friend Leslie, and the author is good people. J.R. Trouse is very good people. And it was the next book up on my Kindle, so I dove right in. My general thoughts about this book is that this was a unique book. I was interested the entire time, but I felt like there were times when it was a little bit wordy. Could have been shorter in my opinion, and for me, the reveal at the end came a little too late. It kept getting hinted at throughout the book, but then it would just move on and pretend like it didn't hint at it at all. For some people that works. For me, I wanted it a little bit earlier. I think that was an intentional strategy by the author to try to build suspense about that reveal, but for me, it just didn't work where it wanted it. I just wanted it a little bit sooner. Spoiler-free description of what this book is all about. The Elfrere trilogy, set in J.R. Trouse's futuristic fantasy world of El, is a story about teenage rebellion against the ruling elite and their gods. Go home, Elena. When Elena Kavach lost her parents, her grandfather, Dimas, gave her a home and a purpose. At the school, he trained her to become an Elfrere, a hunter of arcane beasts, demons, and other anti-human entities. For 10 years, they built a life together. Then, one night, in the middle of preparing dinner, Dimas vanished. Now 17 and stuck with her grandfather's debts, Elena resorts to illegal raves in her run-down hometown. But these small-time contracts simply aren't enough. The school lies in disrepair, the powers shut off, and the bills remain insurmountable. In a last-ditch gamble, she signs up for a rave whose massive reward could rewrite her entire future. However, she's far from the only Elfrere to answer the call of such an alluring bounty. Out of options, Elena sinks the last of her money into a forged raver's license and a one-way ticket to New El, the floating capital. There, an unnameable horror, her target, busies itself slaughtering the nobility in the dead of night. Protected only by her wits and spells, Elena must find a way to save New El, her school, and herself. Now, let's just dive right into my different thoughts about this book so you can see where I felt on this. I felt like it was a good book. It could have been better, but it could have been worse, and I will likely continue this series and see where Elena's adventures lead. Our characters, I thought some of them were 100% memorable, but others felt like they were similar characters than I've read in books or seen on TV and movies, and not quite as memorable individually. Our atmosphere and setting were good, but not outstanding in my point of view. Writing style, like I said, it felt like it was a bit wordy at times to me and could have been cut down in places. The book in general felt longer than it needed to be. I wanted that big reveal to come sooner than it did, which is part of why it felt so long to me, I think. The plot was good, steady, and developed along the way, and it was easy to follow. I was always intrigued, even when I had a feeling about something or someone. I was still interested and intrigued until the very end. Logic. Now, some things made absolute logical sense, and other things were kind of explained. Some things I feel like I needed more explanation, but maybe that's coming in subsequent books. We'll see once I have a chance to continue on with this series. I enjoyed this read, and like I said, we'll likely continue the series one day once I'm able to pick up further books in series and add it to it. So that is my thoughts on The Rave by J.R. Trouse. I will again preface this because this is relatively new to my video, saying that I am looking at my rating systems, the way I rate, not necessarily the system itself, and kind of tightening up my numbers. And so some of these numbers, if you look at my written review, will seem a lot lower than I've given in other books, and that's because I'm just trying to provide more and more honest reviews for books that I read, so that way it's helpful for you all looking for books to read. If you have read The Rave, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of it? What did you think of that reveal? Did you want it sooner like I did, or were you okay with it when it came? As always, keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.